Hello, everyone, and welcome to GameFi Paradigm. I'm Usurper, and today we're here again with Kelly Quinn, or Kelly, right? To speak about claimers. And the
Let's
floor is
do it.
yours, buddy.
All right. Uh, well, I sent you that list. We can just go through it. So, claimers. So if you're new to the game, to find claimers, you just go to races and just click on selections open,
Oh,
and this
what?
will
Let
give
me
you.
let me cut you off real quick. I think there's
Okay,
some
go ahead.
static. There's some static on your end.
Like static. Oh, like on my voice.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
I don't know if you're able to like
Do
restart
I?
your. Oh, there you go. Now I can hear you better.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
Mm, I wonder if
Yeah,
I
cause
by switching windows, if okay, hang on, let me put
you sound good
Discord
now.
on a different.
Yeah.
Huh,
You sound good
I don't
now,
know.
but I think when we had another session, someone was saying, mentioned about the static on our last session that we had.
Hmm,
Yeah.
hmm. I don't know, dude.
Okay. I mean, it is what it is. It's just
That's
yeah.
what it
We're
is.
good. Go ahead.
We'll try some more.
Mhm.
Is it still sharing my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, okay, cool. Okay, to find claimers, you go to
Mhm.
races and then you click on selections open, and it will bring up all the races where, so right now, because we have um, the majors, the mini majors, you're going to see them also in this section. But if you skip by them, you'll see here's a claimer. Here's a bunch of claimers. So, okay, there's not that many claimers, but there's about 10 or so. So the best time of season for claimers is the very first day. Um, how has your claimers been going, Usurper? You've been
I have not. I was looking at some horses that I wanted to claim, but I missed out and didn't. Yeah, didn't try it.
you didn't pull the trigger.
No,
What
but I still see them.
why didn't you pull the trigger? What held you back?
Because my horse was actually in that claimer, and I started noticing that those two specific horses kept racing him, but by then one of them was already claimed.
Okay, okay. Well, I'm gonna open up a few of these races, and then we can just look at them, and then talk what I look for when I'm looking at claimers. Now,
Okay.
like I said, like the very best day for claimers is the very beginning of the season, because that's your best chance to maybe pick up some real super gems, right? Um, but and right now, so if you're a new person, if you come to the home screen, you can only see how many days are left in a season. And so we are almost at the final week. We only have 9 days left. Okay. So if you are claiming right now, I would probably be only claiming 2 year olds. So you have that full year three to race that horse, and maybe the year four if it's a really good horse. And and then there is the leaderboard. So if you're claiming a horse right now, maybe you're claiming one that's near the top of the leaderboard. Are you familiar with the leaderboard, Super?
A bit. Yeah, I've seen him. I've seen it a bit here and
So
there.
if you go to stats and you click on season leaders, this tab here, you can see this is the leaderboard, and the top, I think it's the top 20 or maybe the top 30 are gonna get a crown prize. Last season it was like $300 worth of crown for the top 20, I think. I'm not sure what this season's prize is, but you can see like this guy here. He's going crazy. He's obviously taking the claimers super seriously.
Oh
This
wow.
Battelle, yeah, look how many. he's got in the top 20. I think I counted it yesterday. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
Jesus.
8, 9. He's got 9 in the top 21. Like that guy's hardcore. This one last season it was TriStar. I think his name is TriStar. Where is he? Oh yeah, TriStar Racing was hardcore last season. So this stable here, he's gonna get a lot of crown. He's winning this year by far. I don't think I have anyone in here. I actually kind of have faded off a little bit on claimers. I was more active in the first couple weeks, and I've been taking claimers a little different this season. I actually I go into claimers looking for good horses, horses that are going to race and win me positive ROI for 2 to 3 seasons. And there's a lot of them. And I wasn't, last season, the meta was kind of going for this leaderboard. Um, for me, I just decided just to look for good horses. All right, so let's go and look at some horses. Let's look at some races. So skip by him. So I'm just going to open up a few of them and then we can, we can look at the A pluses also, but I generally don't claim them and I'll explain that in a bit. I'm just going to open all these up. Okay. All right, let's have a look. So what you're looking for, I like to claim S minus and S's because there's a lot more races for them. I find the A pluses, the A's and the A minuses, there's just not very many races. And it sucks. You claim you claim a good A horse and you think you're gonna, get lots of good ROI and every time you put them in a race, a couple days later you get a notification that the race was canceled. So yeah, so it's really tough. It's really tough. So I pretty much, and like even for breeding, I don't even try and breed them anymore. I try and leap them up as high as I can. S minus and S. S minus I think is really the best grade. It's my favorite grade. All right, let's have a look at this. There's 4 guys in here. So like I said, also like at this time of the season, you should probably only be looking at claiming 2-year-olds, but at the beginning of a season, claiming 2 and 3-year-olds is the age group I look for. Also, if you want to be looking at preferences, you want to be preferences are huge. When the game first started, everyone was kind of arguing. There was a lot of these guys that were preference maxis, and then there was the other camp which kind of always was laughing at the preference maxis. And when I joined, I wasn't part of any camp, so I kind of listened to both sides. But I'm firmly a preference maxi now. You need preferences to win races. If you are breeding and you're just breeding, stats, you're not going to win races if you don't have preferences. So I look for 6 is my minimum. I won't claim a horse with less than 6 stars. I prefer even higher, like 7, 8, 9. You should be looking at the fleet figure. Fleet figure is a very good metric. So and then the morning line. Now the morning line is a little complicated, but we'll get into it. So most likely this horse here is going to win this race. So let's have a look at it.
Did you click one already?
Yeah, you can't see it?
No, it's stuck at the main screen, or not stuck at the main screen, but I'm looking at the different claimers right now. Like Mystic Derby, Bluegrass, Brittle commemorative.
Huh.
Like you hit the filter, and it's just.
Oh, okay. You're looking. But you don't see it.
I don't see the different horses.
Yeah. It looks like you've paused this preview. Hang on a second.
Yeah.
Oh no, what is going on with this thing? Yeah, you're on that screen still. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Did you when you click the when you click the share screen, did you click screens? So then it would follow the entire screen, that one screen that you're at. Yeah.
Maybe not. Maybe
Yeah.
not. Maybe not. So what do I have to do to get off
So,
this then?
so just click,
So
click it
like,
again. Share your screen, like turn it off.
Yeah, hang on a second.
Uh-huh.
Stop streaming.
Yeah. So click it again.
Okay. Okay, hang on.
And you'll see
Share
applications.
screen.
Yeah, it
Okay.
says applications, screens, and capture device. Choose the middle one, screens.
What if I share the entire screen?
I have
No?
no idea. I know it's you go to screens and then you click one of them, and then it no matter what you do, it always shows that one screen. I don't know how many monitors you have.
Yeah, I got 2 monitors.
Yeah, so wherever you're screen sharing, you have to pick that screen, and it'll show everything.
Okay, I'm also using Opera. Maybe that's a problem too.
Now I see your Discord.
Okay, hang on. And then if I put up photo finish, is it sharing photo finish now?
No, it's showing this GX corner.
So it's showing that one? Okay,
Yeah.
hang on a second.
Mm-hmm.
Is it showing photo finish now?
Now it's showing photo finish, yeah.
Okay, cool. All right.
All right, let's try this again.
All right. Did it switch to races?
Yeah, so you clicked races.
Yeah. Races, yeah.
Yep.
And now it's showing the lunar trophy 10 at 10
Yep.
10
Yep.
meth. Okay. And then if I open up this race here, maybe I can't open up in different tabs. Okay. Anyways, I'll just go in. Okay, now is it still showing?
Now I see the horses.
Okay. All right. All right. So let's carry on. Like I was saying, you want high preferences. Okay, 6 plus. The morning line is very valuable. It's very valuable at the beginning of the season for sure. Because say hypothetically, let's take like a big stable like Tombstone Stables. He has a lot of really good horses, and but he has, it's hard for a very big stable to find races. And so when you breed, you're gonna have you're gonna have some expectations, right? So when I breed, my best mares with the best studs, I expect those babies to be awesome, right? But a lot of those end up being duds, and then you have your other babies that you make, and maybe you make some that you have very low expectations. Well, the low expectations ones are the ones that big stables will put into claimers on day one. And most of them will be duds because the big stables understand their horses better than anyone. But a few of them will be surprise superstars, right? But they don't know this. And once they put a horse into claimers, they can't claim their own horse. And so if you go on day one and you go into a race and one of the horses' morning line is really, really low compared to all the other ones, I almost always just insta claim it because that horse, as long as it has the preferences. Now, preferences and morning line, if a horse has really bad preferences but has a really high morning line, I wouldn't claim it because I think the morning line doesn't take preferences in account when it figures out the odds of that horse winning the race. I think it's based mainly on subgrades. So a horse with a really good morning line but bad preferences, I wouldn't claim it. Okay, so morning line, whichever has the best morning line is usually the best horse. So this one and this one. Fleet figures, I'd put more weight on a fleet figure. So this guy has the best morning line. He also has the best fleet figure. So if I was going to like wager on this race just based on this screen alone, I would bet on horse number 1, right? What do you think about that? You agree?
But you did say minimum 6, right?
Yeah, he's got 6.5. Yep.
Okay.
He's got 6.5. I'm just saying, like, if I was I'm not saying claiming. I'm just saying
Oh.
if I was gonna bet who wins this race, just based on this information, without looking at any further, based
Oh.
on that based on that fleet figure,
Uh-huh.
he has a very high fleet. His fleet figure is way better, and he has the best morning line. I'd probably say he's gonna win this race. Now, from here, if you wanted to take your investigation deeper, obviously you should expand and look at them. Okay, so he's a 3-year-old. He's only had 3 races. He won 1. Okay, so that I could tell right away. I might say like, okay, 2 of those races, the guy was testing and maybe raced at the wrong distance, and then maybe on the final race, he finally figured out the distance of the horse, right? And so if he's racing at this horse's preferred distance, he probably is the favorite in this race. Here you go. Here's another one. 3 races, but only a second. Probably same, like the person was trying to figure out the distance. Hard though, when you have no races to really go on. Here's this guy. He has 25 races, 4, 5, and 6. It's a lot of win, place, show. I actually, and I put it in the notes I sent to you, I actually don't like this 5 and 6 because this tells me that this is a good horse, but
Uh-huh.
he chokes a lot, right? Like he doesn't win. I would rather a horse win and so you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Especially if you're going for like you want to be on that claimer leaderboard, you want wins. You don't want seconds and. So anyways, these stats are okay. I'm not like it's not a horrible,
Yeah.
but I prefer this guy, right? This
Mm-hmm.
5, 2, and 3, because he wins a little bit more. But anyways, but he's 4, so I would never claim him. So anyways, so this is a 2.5K claimer. I wouldn't claim any of these guys unless one of them was like really high on the claimer leaderboard. But at this
Oh,
stage
yeah,
of the
yeah.
game, yeah, so I wouldn't claim any of these guys. I wouldn't have to go any further. Based on what I see, I wouldn't
Yeah.
claim any of these guys. Right? All right, let's look at another race.
That's pretty good, man. This is interesting.
All right, let's look at this one. So
Oh,
this one, can you see it?
yeah.
We're on the Farmers Breakaway claiming 7.5. You're on that one?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I see that.
Okay. Okay. So there's 8 in this race. Okay. And it's a 7.5. Now we're 3/4 of the way through the season. So there actually could be some good horses in this. And how it's working is as people win races, claimer races, they are incentivized to put their horse in a higher um claimer bracket, right? Like if say you have a horse that's won 4 claimer races, well,
Mm-hmm.
you're not going to keep putting him in a 1.2K or 1.6K because everyone is going to claim it because it's almost on the leaderboard. It's almost at the top of the leaderboard. It has 4 wins, right? One more win and it's going to get like $300 worth of crown. So you have to factor in that $300 worth of crown into the price of the claim, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
Kind of.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I don't know if I explained it very well, but anyways, so um, the, I think if you're going to be really serious about claimers, you also need to be using a third-party tool. I would recommend using the Gapdata tool. Um, that when I go really deep into researching a horse, I use the Gapdata tool because it just shows you more stats on a horse. All right, so let's have a look at these guys. Now, just from this screen,
Yeah.
which horse do you think is who's going to win this race? Who do you think is going to win this race?
I would. I think. Oh wait, hold on. The screen is a little blurry.
Hmm. Is it?
Scroll up again.
Okay.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm thinking.
Pick two.
Two, I would say
Pick two.
three. Oh, I
Number
didn't even.
three. Okay.
Yeah, I'd say number
No,
three.
no, no. I meant said pick two horses. Okay. Yeah. Number
Oh,
three. Yeah, I agree. I agree with you. Number three. And who else?
uh, I had to pick another one. I'd say number 8.
Yeah. Oh, that's probably the two I would pick. Yeah. Good. Nice. Uh, you know, Fleet Figure. I like Fleet Figure a lot. Um, versus the morning line. The morning line, we don't know the algorithm of morning line, so it's something, and I guess we don't necessarily know the full algorithm of Fleet Figure either, but I think Fleet Figure is probably, you know, it is what it is, and so 76 and 77. Now we would have to check to make sure that these horses are raced at their preferred preference, right? So say if we would look at this guy and he's a 4-year-old,
Ooh,
we're not going to probably claim him
yeah,
because he's 4, but he's got 9 wins, so he could
yeah,
be on the
no,
leaderboard. And look, he's also, look at the stable. So you really, when you start getting into this game, you need to start memorizing stables. This guy was the guy that was leading last season in the claimer leaderboard. So this is a good chance that this horse maybe has 4 wins. Okay.
uh-huh.
So let's have a look. Like, you understand when I say 4 wins, I mean like 4 wins this season.
On the
So
leaderboard.
anyways, that's
Mm-hmm.
on the leaderboard. Yeah. So let's have a
Yeah.
look. And so you can also have the leaderboard open. And what I did last season was I would have the leaderboard open, and I would use Control F, and I would just start searching for names, right?
Oh yeah,
I'd
yeah,
look,
yeah.
I just search for Tarot Stretch and see if he's on there. But anyways, okay, so this guy, he gets a lot of seconds and thirds. So he's got 1 victory. He's got, no, he only has 1 victory this season. This victory here is from last season. So this horse looks like, okay, this horse made money last year. Look, I can see right away. I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This was one of the top horses last season. It
Yeah.
was one of the few that got 6 wins. I think there was 3 horses that got 6 wins. So this horse made $300 worth of crown last. He made 1,000 crown last season.
Oh
This was a
damn.
really good horse. Yeah, but he's now 4, and he's fallen off. Lots of horses fall off at age 4, right? So
Mm-hmm.
this horse is past his prime. So TriStar is begging somebody to claim this horse.
Yeah.
He is. He's hoping someone claims this horse because this horse is past his prime. He's you can this horse is he's he's gonna dip now. This horse is definitely going to dip. He'll have a few good races, but he'll have more bad races than good races. But anyways, it's a good one to look at. This was obviously an awesome horse last season, and so the morning line. I think the morning line maybe doesn't take age into consideration either, right? So that's something you need to, when you're picking a horse, you need to take that into consideration. So I think this morning line is probably not accurate. A 3-year-old with the same stats is going to beat this 4-year-old, probably 70% of the time. So where's the other guy? This guy here.
You said
Here's a 3-year-old.
the morning light doesn't take consideration of the age.
That's my guess. Okay, that's my
Okay.
humble opinion. Humble opinion. Okay.
Another thing that
So
I've been noticing, and I don't know if it's true or not, but most times, pretty much almost all the time, at least what I've seen, when a horse is the favorite, it never wins. I mean, maybe once in a while, but it hardly ever wins.
Okay. Well, you want to talk about morning line a little bit?
Sure. Why not?
Okay. So morning line is okay. You also got to take into account. So 5.11. So it's saying in every 5 races, it's going to win once. So it's only a 20% chance, right? So when people think like, oh, the horse never wins when I got the morning line. Well, yeah, it's a 5-to-1 odds. You only have a 20% chance of winning. So 4 out of 5 times you're not going to win, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It just has the best odds of winning the race. That's it. That's all it is. It just has the best odds. I don't know. I love the morning line. And if I have a horse that it has the morning line favorite, I'm very happy. I don't care if he wins or loses. I'm happy. Well, because
Okay.
it's telling you a lot of information about your horse. Okay, it really is. You can so if your horse is always has the morning line favorite, and then it's telling you that, okay, maybe your horse is just too young and it needs to age more. So that's definitely a horse that
Oh.
yeah, that's a horse that you could probably maybe sit for a while and check on it again, maybe in 2 weeks or maybe next season. So if you have a high morning line, but say your 2-year-old juvenile just doesn't perform, I would sit him, and then I would bring him back at year 3. Also could mean it could mean that you have a defective horse. So it could mean that, say you have really high, the first 4 stats, first really high speed, start, stamina, maybe finish, whatever. Maybe 3 out of the 4 are really, really high, but you have like a defective heart, right?
Yeah.
And so you have a really low heart. So on paper, the computer thinks, oh yeah, this horse is going to win because its speed is super, super high, but it doesn't ever win because it has a defective heart, right? The heart's really, really low, or the temper is really, really low. So that's another thing too. But I love, I will never complain if my horse has the best morning line, because it tells you a lot of information. And I
Yeah.
think you're able to figure out your horse quicker when you have a high morning line, because also it probably tells you that's the preferred distance. That's probably the number one thing, is when you find a
Oh.
really good, yeah, when you find your best morning line. So say if
Uh-huh.
you've been testing them in a bunch of maidens, and then you finally find a distance where you get a really high morning line, then that's probably the preferred distance, and I'll probably explore that distance further. Okay, anyways, so let's have a look. So I'm going to click on expand all, and we can quickly look at all these horses, okay? So it's 7.5. So you're at this point, and these are like 3-year-olds and older, you're probably only spending 7.5 if one of these horses is right near the top of the claimer leaderboard. Other than
Yeah.
that, you're probably not going to claim any of these horses, right? And we go through, and I'm just looking at their wins and their ages,
Oh
and
yeah.
and there's just nothing here. This guy here,
Yeah, that one
if
looks
this guy,
interesting.
this one looks interesting. So I would
Mhm.
check to see if this guy is on the leaderboard. So uh, if I open up another tab, are you watching my second tab?
Yeah, yeah. I see it says speed dial, right? Okay, so yeah, it
Yeah,
should be
yeah,
good.
yeah. Okay, so I'm
Oh,
gonna go to that leaderboard,
okay.
and and then what was that horse's name? It was
Lonely Diary.
Yeah,
Oh,
Dairy.
Dairy.
Okay, and then I'm gonna do a Control F, Lonely Dairy. Yeah, yeah, he's not in here. Hang on, let me make sure it's working. Giddy. Yeah, okay, so it's finding Giddy. Giddy's at the top. Okay, so yeah, so I went Lonely. Lonely's not popping up at all. So yeah, so he's 4. I wouldn't claim him. He's probably past his prime, and he's not a filly. If this was a filly, like a mare, and has this kind of a record, I would probably look into it a bit more, especially if I was a big, if I liked to, left turf soft, if I
Oh
had a
yeah,
bunch
yeah.
of studs, and maybe, so I do go into claimers looking for um, fillies to breed with my, that will match up with some of my best studs. Um, for in-house breeding, I don't generally go into claimers looking for a horse that I'm going to breed out of my barn. But all right, let's look at another race. Any questions? Anything I've glossed over that?
Yeah, well, so
Let's look
I
at this
mean,
one.
a lot of these are pretty expensive, right? For new players, right? Like 5,000. I mean, some of them are like 4,000, or
All
no,
right.
sorry, 400
Okay. Here,
claimer.
let me show you something. Let me show you something.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Let's look at my stable, and
Ease
all right.
300.
Let's look at let's look at this horse. Can you see this horse?
Young
Young
bloods, yeah.
bloods. All right. Let's look at this horse. So this horse has 29 races. He has 18 wins,
Jesus.
2 and 5. So he always wins. If it's
Damn.
if the race is 7 and 8, he always wins pretty much. Look at that. 7 and 8.
Jeez.
He's just a crusher. Okay. Let's look at the race history. So this was not my horse, and I did not name him this stupid name.
Yeah.
And I feel sorry for the old owner. So this guy, I'm looking at the very bottom. I'm going to work my way up. So this horse started off, got a third, first, third, first, seventh, first, and then he got a third. He got a first. And these are like juvenile stakes. These are hard races, and then 10.
Oh, hold on. And then you hold on.
Races
You're cutting
in.
out. One sec. I can't hear you. You're cutting out. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Kelly. You're cutting out. I can't hear you. Come back to the light.
Because nobody was showing you. There you go.
Okay, now I can hear you.
Oh,
Come back to the light.
Come back to it. All right. So, for
So
whatever reason, this poor owner decided they didn't think anyone would claim an S minus for 10K.
yeah.
But, well, baby, like, look at those stats, right?
Yeah.
So I claimed it for 10 on October 9th. I claimed him for 10K. He ended up winning that race too, but I don't get that money. And so now you look at this chart. October 9th was right here.
Jesus.
So he was in total profit of 13,800. You see that?
Yeah, I see it.
It's 13,800. And now he's at 60,000. So if you include you include the 10K I put down, so he essentially everything after 23,800 is profit.
Yeah.
Now he's at 60.
God damn.
Still got this, and this guy he's only 3 still.
Holy crap, man.
He's still got 9 more days. A good horse, they'll still win lots of money in their age 4, unless they fall off a cliff. Sometimes they fall off a cliff. You never know. But yeah. So when you say you're looking at these races and they're expensive, it's all relative, man.
Yeah.
It's all ROI. I almost always look at the why do I want to claim a horse that's in a 400 Derby claimer race? Right? If it's in a 400 Derby, that means the person's throwing the horse away. It's probably shit. So,
have you ever found something that wasn't shit?
In a 400? No, not really.
No.
I've picked up a few fillies in a 400, just because I wanted to breed with, I have two big horses I like in my barn, big studs that I was just finding girlfriends for them.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, that I'll use, but I don't think so. Maybe on the very first day of the season, I would look at every race really hard. Like I spend 3 to 4 hours looking at every claimer, looking at every possibility. I'll go really deep into a horse's history, the parents, everything. And
I have a question for you.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so when you pay the say the 10,000, is that an automatic
Hmm.
buy, or are you able to build up? Say like I offer only 5,000 to try to claim it, and someone can beat you, or is it just first come first
No,
serve?
no. So no, it's not first come first serve. So during the selection window,
Mm-hmm.
um, anyone and everyone can put a claim on that horse.
At the same
Okay.
price.
So at the same price. So it's all
Oh.
so whatever the race is. So this for that horse, it was a 10K.
Mm-hmm.
When we look, so for this horse, oh, so that's let's get rid of that one. So I'll switch back. So for this race here, so let's look at this race. So all the horses in this race, the claiming price is 2.5. Now, the claim ends in 3 hours and 6 minutes. The claiming window ends in 3 hours and 5 minutes. Okay.
Okay.
So in the next 3 hours, we can all put a claim on it.
Mm-hmm.
Only one person is going to win. So it's going to be a lottery. The game's going
Oh.
to, it's going to randomly pick one winner, and but we all pay 2.5 up front. And
Mm-hmm.
then all the people that don't win, they get their money back.
Did anyone compete for you with that 10,000?
Nope.
No.
I don't know.
Oh.
Maybe there was one. Let's have a look. I can't remember. Maybe there was
Oh,
one.
it
When I
shows you
when I
if there was
posted it,
people.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, no,
Oh.
actually you gotta go into the horse, and
Uh-huh.
you gotta go on the ledger, and then
Damn.
you gotta go back to where it was claimed.
And it's a Colt, man. So you're gonna. I'm pretty sure it's gonna breed. People are gonna want to breed with this thing.
Maybe, yeah. Okay, claim successful. So there's no rejected claims. So no one else. It was
Jesus.
just me. Well, I have a bit of an advantage. They changed it this season though. They made the claiming window wider,
Mm-hmm.
but since I'm in a different time zone, uh, I can take like the claims. Most of the claimer races seem to I guess I don't know what time they start at, but I don't know. Whenever I get on in the morning, there's a lot of races for me to look at. My time zone seems to be really advantageous. I don't
Yeah.
know. Maybe this guy was racing in the middle of the night. I'm not sure. I think he was 5 p.m. my time, so that's like probably like 5 a.m. your time or something, right? So, or maybe 2 a.m. your time or something.
Why would he
But
throw
yeah,
him in a claimer
anyways,
though?
well, the owner thought that no one would claim him for 10K, right? So,
Damn,
you know,
man.
and and
Ouch.
I, and I, and so people they'll go to the marketplace, and maybe they'll pretend they're going to sell him just to see how much he's worth.
Mm-hmm.
But that's like the worst way to evaluate a horse, right? I when I claimed that horse, I knew that horse is going to break 100K for me, I think. On that 10K, I think I'll make 100K back. And that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
That will pay for a lot of my stable for,
Damn.
that when that guy, yeah, it was a very good claim. It was definitely my best claim. Um,
Surprised you
all
didn't
right, so
rename him.
I thought about it.
You
Let's
got
look
it.
at, yeah, let's look at some more races. Hang on, let's look at some more. Wait, am I on the right tab? No, I'm not. Okay, selections open.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm not going to look at the A pluses.
So
There's not.
the selection options, that's the one for
Oh,
finding
selection.
claimers.
Well, it's also will include races that you're able to put bets on. So here,
Oh,
this Rolling Thunder, there's a prize pool of 53K. So you have 2 minutes to quickly go and place bets on this.
okay.
Do you do bet? Are you doing bets at all?
No, but I'll probably have to make another video with you on that betting.
Yeah, 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 for
Yeah,
sure.
I need
I'm
to
not
learn
very
that.
good at it. I know how to do it, but I'm definitely not very good at it. There's better people that seem to have a little better luck at it. I don't know. Maybe for the betting, I always bet with my heart or something. I don't know. But for claimers, I've done really well at claimers. Claimers have actually really I don't know. There's a lot of return on investment in claimers right now.
You're not
If
really breeding as much.
Well, no, that's not necessarily true. I like breeding, and I like the studs I have, um, and so yeah. So we can talk about that a little bit. So, who was I talking to? It might have been you, or it might have been somebody else. Someone messaged me, but essentially, I mentioned it at the beginning, but I'll say it again. I'm breeding for claimers now. Like, um, I think claimers is the new meta. So if I breed in-house, the in-house breeding costs a little bit more now. So now it's 1,000 Derby, right? But if I figure I can make a decent horse and I can put him in claimers, and maybe again the horse has to still be has to be a winner.
Oh
So,
yeah.
but claimers is a very easy way, very cheap way to quickly see if your horse is good, and if you don't mind. So essentially, you're breeding to sell it almost, right? Um, so I think there's meta there. I think there's alpha there where you can, take a really good horse like my horse McFrosty. I breed to McFrosty 20 times each season, and I'm I'm breeding all my A pluses that he can breed with. I'm
Mm-hmm.
breeding with McFrosty, and so I'm gonna get S minuses. And if their preferences, so McFrosty has 8 preferences. One of the ways I gauge a horse if it's going to be good is if the preferences the baby gets, the foal, is higher than expected. I find horses that have higher than expected preferences. So, say you're breeding with a mare that has 5 and you're breeding it with McFrosty who has 8. You're going to be expecting, 8 plus 5 is 13 divided by 2. You're going to expect the baby to have 6.5, right? But if
Yeah.
the fowl gets 8 preferences, like he got like all of he ended up getting 8.
Mm-hmm.
Generally, that horse is going to be a winner. That's just a little alpha from me.
Oh
And then
man.
like when I go in the marketplace and I go shopping, I
Yeah.
almost never buy a horse that has below expectations on the preferences. I almost always buy all the ones that I find that really hit home and like really overrode their preferences. Like I said,
Mm-hmm.
like the mom was a 5 and the dad was an 8, and the baby gets an 8, or if the baby got an 8.5, or you get the gist, right?
Yeah.
Mom was an 8, dad was an 8, and then baby's a 9. That's a no-brainer, right? It's not 100% foolproof, but I definitely think it's a good gamble if the price is right. So, but yeah, no, I'm breeding now for claimers. So any of the horses that I don't think can win a major, I'll just race them in claimers, and I'll put them in the 2.5Ks, the 1.2Ks, the 1.6Ks. It only cost me 1,000 to make them, and so if the horse gets claimed right away, I still make profit, right? So yeah.
Hmm.
All right. Any other questions?
Oh, okay. Well, still, like, so for a new player, you would still would you recommend
For a new
to be doing the
player,
claiming? Yeah.
yeah, 100%. That's all I do. That's all I do. I wish I was a new player right now. Yeah, I think breeding for a new player, I think breeding is massively negative ROI, massively. Um, the amount of mistakes you will make as a new player breeding, you're gonna lose money. So, um, all the alpha, all of the ROI right now is in claimers for sure.
Oh damn.
You take a stable like Tombstone, Mr. Mike Sauer's stable,
Oh
Tombstone
yeah, yeah.
Stables. He's the number one stable right now. Oh no, sorry, my bad. Oh, maybe he's the number one on earnings this season. Oh, is this by Ted's number one? Hang on a second. Where's
Mhm.
the earnings? anyways, Tombstones. I never. Ted doesn't put any horses in claimers. I don't know if I don't think any of these guys do. These first three, I don't think they
Mm-hmm.
put horses in claimers. Tombstone does, and if I see his name, I'll look at that horse extra hard because
Oh,
no,
damn.
he puts a lot of good horses in claimers. He's just got so many,
Yeah,
and
true.
yeah, he'll maybe he won't put his 2-year-olds in there, but he'll put his 3-year-olds. And if it's the beginning of a season, and you can get and especially if it's a 3-year-old, because then you're going to have all the stats from the age 2, right? And he
Mm-hmm.
also, I think he generally races his horses every season. So there's some stables, like I've noticed lately, Big Brain.
Oh,
I've
yeah.
noticed Big Brain doesn't race his horses in year 2. He waits until year 3.
Oh, really?
You
For all
know,
his
and
horses?
which well, I think I'm not sure of all of horses, but I do notice, um, especially in right turf,
Mm-hmm.
I'll have like I'll have a bunch of really good horses in year 2, right? And I'll be winning like a lot of races, like S minus sprints and whatnot. And I'll think, oh, I got the best horse. I got the best horse. And then the next season, out of nowhere, Big Brain will have like 10 horses that haven't raced yet, but they're like all better than my horses. And so I don't have the best horse, all of a sudden, so yeah, I've noticed it a lot. I'd have to research it more in deep, but I think there's something to be said there that he thinks it's negative ROI to race horses in the year 2, right?
Hmm.
So, but yeah, no, for new players, I would only do claimers. And yeah, probably, you asking me to do this today, I was thinking, you know what? There's another game I want to start doing that's launching on Tuesday,
Mm-hmm.
that I want to streams for. So, but I think I'll maybe start doing streams maybe 3 or 4 times a week for claimers. Just
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, do that.
yeah. The only thing is people will snipe, but
Yeah.
I don't think everyone will actually watch for maybe a couple of weeks. So maybe then it'll work out. Maybe I won't tell anyone I'm streaming, and then I'll post the video on YouTube afterwards, and then once I steal some horses, maybe they'll start watching. But yeah, I think it's definitely you learn a lot more if someone's just doing it live and actually
Yeah.
picking horses.
Yeah.
It's yeah.
Don't
We
the
should do it.
don't
We should do this again at the very beginning of a season.
yeah, don't they have there's a guy on there, he just does betting, I think, right? Or picks?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. I think so. I think there's a few guys.
Yeah. So why don't you be, yeah,
Yeah,
you could
there's
be the claimer guy. Like you're not gonna really
yeah.
claim like the more important ones. Maybe you like look at it ahead of time and then just kind of explore options you're not really interested in as much. And oh, hey, this is a good option, guys. You could come and claim this one, you know?
Yeah, and maybe, I don't know.
I'll
I
watch, man. Let me
probably,
know.
I'll probably tell people to claim all the good ones. I don't mind. It doesn't bother. It doesn't bother me. There's a few guys that I kind of but definitely in the beginning of the season. There's
Yeah.
there's a bunch of guys I compete with, like Crush Stables, um, all the good horses that I found.
Hmm.
That he was always bidding also on them. So
Oh.
and so we were kind of going back and forth, getting lucky and whatnot. Um,
Oh, I have a question. So,
sure.
every season is that for the claiming, or I don't know if this is like a new thing, like a claiming competition or tournament or whatever for these leaderboards.
Yeah.
Is
Yep.
that every single season?
Yep. Yeah. That's so. Um, Last year was the first season.
Mm-hmm.
This is the second season. But yeah, no, I think the team is definitely gonna keep it going.
That's interesting. Wow.
I think it's one of the best. I don't know what best
Add-ons.
upgrades or
Yeah.
yeah, best. Yeah, I think it's like I would send you a message a few times on Twitter, and like last season, and on DM I said, claimers are back, and you didn't understand what I meant. When I first joined,
Yeah.
claimers were like 125K,
Oh
80K,
wow.
75K, and this guy here. So in right turf,
Mm-hmm.
absolute horsepower at number 5 here. He he's by far the biggest stable in right turf, and he used to put essentially he was selling his horses, right? Because he had so many extras, and he was putting them in. But you could find good horses, but they cost you 75K, and so yeah, claimers were a lot different back then. But then eventually, as the horse prices came down, the claimers came down, and then everyone stopped going in claimers. So now they've brought claimers back, right, at this lower price point. And so now it's filling it's an awesome niche, or the bottom of the price, right? It allows people with smaller bankrolls to play the game.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, and
Yeah.
if you want mass adoption now, because with the
Yeah.
adding it to the Play Store and whatnot, I mean, how else are people going to be able to join in? I guess, right?
Exactly. But I also think claimers is also for people that have big wallets too, because
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
it's positive. It's positive. I think I'm having my best season for ROI, and it's not from my horses that I've bred, but the horses I've bred is bringing my ROI down. Uh,
Oh, really?
most of my, yeah, for sure. Yeah, for
Oh,
sure.
then why keep
Because you
breeding?
will have Well, it's a very good question. It's a
Yeah.
it's a
Oh,
very,
damn.
very good question. Yeah, no, it's tough though, because for me, I came in November, which
Mm-hmm.
was the first peak. I still think this game has another big peak. It probably won't happen till next summer,
Yeah.
but I came in during the first wave when there was almost no horses to buy, right?
Yeah.
All the OG stables, they didn't want to sell their horses, and if they did want to sell their horses, they were selling them for like $4,000 US. So
Jesus.
all the horses I bought, I paid a lot for,
Mm-hmm.
and so for me to get the value out of them, I have to keep breeding them, right? Yeah, if I can't, if I if I bought a horse for $3,000 and now it just sits on my
Oh,
barn and doesn't,
man.
then so I kind of have to keep breeding, but
Mm-hmm.
it is what it is. Um, yeah, my stable's massively in the negative. Like, I'm
Oh,
oh,
damn.
well, it's public knowledge. You can look at it.
Yeah.
Anyone that joined in November is massively in the negative. But if you join today and you take your time and are patient, this game is very easy to ROI on, very easy to
Mm-hmm.
make money. So yeah, I love it right now. It's the best time. So I'll just keep grinding, and eventually I'll break even.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Just to reiterate on what you've already said so far, and hopefully, and then just correct me if I'm saying anything wrong here. You were
Sure, sure.
saying, yeah. So focus on, or even for new players, you can do or focus on claimers. You usually look for age 2, maybe 3, right? Um,
At the beginning of the season, I'll look at 2 and 3s. Yeah.
yeah, 2 and 3. Okay, so beginning of season 2, 3. You prefer minimum 6 stars. Um,
Yep.
and then you usually look for a higher fleet figure and at times the morning line, but that's not really a priority, right? The morning line, it's just kind of an extra thing to look
Just
at.
some extra information. That's it. Use it as extra information.
You
Mhm.
prefer more wins on the horses compared to a show and a what was it? Oh no, place and show.
Yeah,
Place and
you
show is
want
kind. Go ahead.
especially you want winners, because
Mhm.
obviously it's pretty obvious you want a
Yeah.
winner. But I know a lot of people will look at a horse that say it has one win, places and one show. Yeah, I don't know, maybe 15 races, 20 races, whatever. You know, that tells me that horse might be a negative ROI when it comes to racing, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
in this game with the current rake, you need to win races, right? You
Yeah.
just have to. And if a horse only has like one win in 8 places, that means he chokes.
Yeah,
He
he chokes.
chokes at the line, right? He has he has a bad heart, or he has
Mm-hmm.
something's wrong with that horse. That so especially like also like I said, like I'm also claiming fillies. Like I'm
Mm-hmm.
looking for girl horses. And if a girl horse has like one win in 8 places,
Mm-hmm.
then that's telling me like, okay, maybe I don't want to claim this horse because it has something is defective, something is
Yeah.
wrong and when I retire it and I look at it, there's I'm gonna
Literally
be
show.
disappointed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna be disappointed. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, so that's definitely cool. So what? Go ahead, keep
So
going
yeah,
down
yeah,
the list.
and then okay, so yeah, but so you obviously everyone wants a higher wins or yeah higher wins place and show
Mhm.
you tend to drift away from if they're more of, but I mean I guess some people would want them. I don't know, especially focus if they're on the leaderboard. Um,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
try to
for
look for
sure.
their name on there, and
And
it starts.
you're gonna pay more, right?
Yeah.
As they especially if they're at the top of the leaderboard. I wouldn't so by the end of the season, the
Mm-hmm.
top of the leaderboard, they're gonna put their horses only in the 20K races, and so
Yeah.
it's negative ROI to go after that horse at that point.
Oh yeah.
But
Yeah.
if if it's at the top of the leaderboard and they're still putting it in like a 7.5K, it
Mm-hmm.
could be. It's up to you at that point. It could be positive ROI. Um, to claim it because
Yeah.
7.5 is like $100, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if it's going to make 300 in Derby, I mean in Crown, then maybe you want to claim it. So
Yeah.
it's you have to kind of crunch the numbers and decide what you want to do. I prefer, for me, I think that a better ROI is to be very active at the beginning of a season and claim a bunch of good horses for 800 Derby, 1.2K Derby,
Mm-hmm.
right?
No, that's good. I'm gonna have to start looking at that. Oh, but so you said also focus on the bigger stables if you're seeing them in claimers. To start to
Yes,
recognize the bigger stables and see what
yes.
what they're throwing in the claims. And then you said that you avoid A+ or any A's mainly, right? Because they usually get canceled a lot, and that you prefer
Yep,
S- and S horses.
yep, yep.
Is there anything
That's
else that
that's
I
it.
forgot or didn't
No, I
mention?
don't think so. Don't think
Yeah.
so. Also be wary of S pluses. If you see an S plus in a claimer, it's
Wait, say that again. If you see
probably
a what?
if you see an S plus in a
Okay.
claimer,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's probably defective, right?
Okay.
And people aren't going to put their S pluses in claimers if there's something, yeah, just you always got to think about why did the owner put this in the claimer? Um, Majority of the time they put it in a claimer because they don't like the horse,
Mm-hmm.
right? They don't have a lot of faith in the horse. But there is those times when the owner kind of screwed up, and here's an example. So look at oh no, I can't look at my stable. The horse is not in my stable anymore. It was
Mm-hmm.
in my stable. So Spaceballs.
Baseballs?
Uh, yeah, Spaceballs.
Oh, what a great name, man! It's such a good movie.
Okay, so Spaceballs.
Uh-huh.
I put him in a race. I put him in this race here, this 1.2K,
Okay. Oh, he got first. Nice.
and he's a good horse.
Yeah.
He's 4-1-1. I do have, and he's got 8 stars. He's a good horse, and his bloodline is good. It's Jupiter, and also this Bobby Yamfries has produced a lot of good horses for me in
Mm-hmm.
his short life. Anyways, I got a little greedy, right? And so this guy here, it was all a dream. He got a 2-year-old, and this horse will make him money. He'll make money on this, and I screwed up. So for 1.2, I guaranteed if he races this horse correctly, he'll
Mm-hmm.
make he'll make it back. So where did he get claimed? He got claimed here. So he tried a different race here, so he lost money on this first race. What
Mm-hmm.
race did he put him in?
I
He
think it was
put
an
him in
allowance.
he went in a stakes. So
Uh,
he should have copied what I was already doing. He's not going to win stakes, and that's
mm-hmm.
probably why I let him go. But he's going to win claimers. So
Mm-hmm.
but just put him in higher claimers, and he's going to win allowances. And I believe he's really good at fives. So only race him at fives. Don't race him
Yeah.
anywhere else. A lot of people, I think they're impatient. That's why I think it's better to claim a lot of horses
Mm-hmm.
at lower value than to go after one big horse. If your bankroll you only have 10,000 or so to spend on horses,
Mm-hmm.
try and get as many horses. Good. Don't pick junk. It's I know in the beginning they just want to get horses and I did it too. I claimed a lot of junk horses back in the day, and just because I was too excited about the game. If you have patience, you're going to do way better at this game. But yeah, I see a lot of people, they can't wait 2 to 3 days for their next race. But in
Mm-hmm.
today's meta, you have to wait 2 to 3 days for your next race. Like don't try and race every day and then race off preference, because what's going to happen is like off preferred distance, you're just going to lose money. Your horse is not going to perform, and slowly your chart's going to go down, 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 and now that horse is a negative ROI, and you're kicking yourself. You look at the chart down here, it's pretty obvious that Spaceball
Yep.
likes fives,
Yeah.
right? He doesn't let, we only have one here, but we got 3 on 6, and he's not excelling at 6. He's
Mm-hmm.
excelling at 5, right? So just don't complicate it. Just race him at 5, right?
Yeah,
It's not that
I've had
hard.
that issue before trying to like make sure. Oh, he's recovered. Let's try to squeeze him in here. He can go one more furlong or shorter
Yeah,
furlong, and it doesn't work out, and I hate
it
myself for
doesn't
it.
work out, and then you're just throwing money away, and especially if you're
Yeah.
on it. Like I said, you can make money at this game if you're smart.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy to. I think it's easy to make money at this game. I think the first few seasons you're going to lose a bit of money because you have to learn. But if you're patient, and especially with claimers, I think people can really make good money nowadays, for sure.
I'm definitely gonna start looking at claimers now. I haven't been breeding whatsoever. I've been actually racing some other guys' horses, and he's been doing pretty good. But yeah, I'm gonna start doing some claimers. Maybe I'll shoot it
Yeah,
over
for
to you. Like,
sure.
hey man, look at this. Can you kind of give
Well,
a
let's.
thumbs up?
So next, so it will be like about 9, 10 days from now will
Mm-hmm.
be the beginning of the. So it's not. So the beginning of the season is 10 p.m. for me at night, so I
Mm-hmm.
can't do it. But the following morning, like 12 hours later, I could do a stream, and you could join that stream, and we
Yeah,
can
yeah,
look at
yeah.
all. Yeah, for sure.
Just shoot
And
me a
yeah,
message on Discord
yeah,
or Twitter.
yeah. Yeah, sure. I'll invite you along for my first session of claiming.
Yeah, yeah,
But
please
yeah,
do.
no, yeah, don't bother breeding. Like
Yeah.
unless you have unless you have a mare that's really really powerful. Like these guys, like these OGs, man, they have it all, right? So they
Mm-hmm.
got like whoops. So like K2, this horse like K2, it's a Gen 0. it it just it's an awesome horse, and every horse it produces wins like 2 million Derby.
Mm-hmm.
you know, like you unless you have a horse that consistently spits out good prodigy,
Yeah.
then there's really no point in breeding unless you just have a lot of money to burn. Um, and like you said, for why do I keep breeding? Well, I'm starting to learn. I only bred I only bred half my stable this year. So let's see. I have 3-year-old females. I have 101 101 3-year-old and older,
Uh-huh.
right? You see, I got 101,
Yeah.
but I only have, I think, 47 that are pregnant. And
Oh.
probably next season it'll go down to 25. I'll probably reduce it down another factor because yeah, breeding's expensive
Yeah.
and you tie up a lot of money that you have to wait. So each time I breed, so this season I bred, it cost me I think negative 75,000 Derby is what it, I think it's negative 75. Um, and what was it? It was negative 60 was the difference in my breeding. But that's 60,000 that I have to essentially, that money is essentially what's the word? It's locked up for like 2 to 3 seasons, right? Like
Yeah.
those horses, unless I sell the horses, but there's not a great market for selling horses these days. So I don't even bother generally trying to sell horses.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so at 60,000, you could easily take that same money and put it in claimers and you get the horse, right? You claim the horse and you race it the next day and the next day and the next day. And it's, you know, if it's a winning horse, you're making money. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely going to be really thinking about my breeding. I've come to that conclusion that maybe I should just be all doing claimers. And so, yeah. Uh,
Look.
I I applaud you. Do not, if you don't have a lot of horses already, then I would not even bother breeding.
Oh no, I don't. I have two horses. Rostov is my main horse that races, and then I have like two that are retired, and I think that's it. And I'm racing someone
Yeah.
else's horses. So yeah, I'm gonna start focus heavily on claiming.
Yeah, yeah,
But,
you know, it's cool if so for the horses that you're racing, were they 2-year-olds?
yeah, some of them are two. I mean, I just raced one right now that was the guy he bought it for 250 Derby, and the horse just got second place. So it's pretty cool just to like see the little wins here and there. But they're usually 2 years old, so he's
Yeah,
doing
so
pretty good.
I think so I, here's my so why are they doing it, right?
Hmm.
Like so why are the stables doing it? And I was thinking I haven't even looked into it, but and I don't know who you claim from, and this is just me talking out of my ass, but I think the reason why they're loaning out horses and they're loaning out 2-year-olds is they're letting you figure out their preferred distance, and
Yeah.
then after next season they get them back, right? The the the
Yeah, but
the,
I'm
con
just racing, huh?
the contract will end after one season, right?
I think
Is that how it
so.
works?
I think so. I don't know if he put a time limit
Uh,
on it.
I don't know. Maybe I'll do that too. I'll let people race all my 2-year-olds,
Yeah.
and then I'll get them back, and I'll see which ones are good.
Well, but he also had it at like 10% just of Derby. So like if I win 1,000 something, he's only getting about 100 or so.
Yeah,
Since I'm
most of
taking
the
the risk,
stables are giving all of the Derby.
huh?
I think most of the people are giving all the Derby. If you, I think,
Oh,
yeah,
I have no idea.
I think, yeah, I don't know, but maybe I'll look at loaning out my 2-year-olds.
Hey, you know what? Let me know, and maybe I'll raise some of yours.
But I think you're better off just going out, you know, put a couple
Yeah,
$100 in the, yeah, like $200, man. Put
yeah.
$200 in the game and go
Hmm.
claim a bunch of horses, you know, at the beginning of the season. You'll make money. You'll start building a bankroll.
Hmm. I hope
For
so,
sure.
man.
Yeah, for sure. Like I'm positive 362, 288, and 1,000 crown, right? So the
Hmm.
crown obviously doesn't come from claimers, that comes from normal races. But I'm positive 12 plus 62. I'm positive 74, and that most of that is probably from claimers, I think. So,
Mhm.
or horses that I've gotten from claimers. Lots of times I'll claim a horse, and if I think it can race in allowances, then I'll put him in. Oh, that's something we should quickly say before we sign off.
Yeah.
The fleet figure.
Oh, yeah.
So the fleet figure, if a horse has only been in claimers, that fleet figure is only for claimers, okay? So if you see a horse and it has like an 80, we'll just go real exaggerate. Say you see a horse in claimers and its fleet figure is like an 80 or something.
Mm-hmm.
Do not think that you can claim that horse and then race it in stakes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? Generally it'll get smoked. You'll come dead last. Okay, the fleet figure is yeah, it's the algorithm behind it. It's that's why, like, when you see like a race, like when you go in yielding, like claimers, a yielding race in claimers, you're gonna get a high fleet figure. If your horse wins that race, the fleet figure is gonna be really, really high. If it's a yielding race and it's a claimer, so use the fleet figure to compare claimers to other horses that are already in claimers. Don't use it to compare claimer horse with a regular horse. Make sense?
Isn't that the same as just allowances also, right? You said, I think I remember you telling me.
Yeah, for sure. No, I don't even look at fleet figure in allowances. I don't. I think allowances. Yeah, I don't. I completely ignore allowances. A lot of times, if I'm looking at a horse and I'm trying to figure out if I want to put a claim on it, like there was one yesterday. The stable guy his name was Nimwit. I think he's kind of newer. Nitwit? Yeah, this Nit no. Oh no. Shit. I don't remember his name. Anyways, he was racing this horse really wrong. And he was putting the horse in allowances. But if you're going to go in an allowance race, you should always be the lowest in that allowance, right? So if you're going to go in an A to an S, you should only enter A's in that race. If
Oh,
you're going to
really?
go in yeah, for sure, for sure.
A to
Because
S, you should be the lower one.
yeah. Here, did I just
Huh.
one of my hang on. Yeah, Chuck E. Cheese. Okay, so Chuck E. Cheese just raced.
Mhm.
Okay, here let's
Chuck E.
go.
Cheese.
Let's go. Let's click here for the no. Let's click here for the no
Oh,
spoiler.
is this
Let's
an
have a look at
allowance?
the no.
Oh, I bet he's fifth.
Okay. Okay. Hang on. Let's have a look.
Okay.
Hang on. What's going on here? Okay, come on. I had no spoiler. Okay. He is. Come on. Stop. Pause. Stop doing that to me. You stupid race. All right. Is it working? Anytime I
Yeah.
go full screen. Okay. I'm not gonna go full screen. Screw it. Okay.
Yeah, it's been doing the
He's
same
an.
thing to me.
Okay. He's an A. Okay.
Okay.
And this is an A to an S. And this is his specialty. He's really good at 10s.
Okay.
And it's a 10 fast. Okay. Let's see how Chuck E. Cheese does.
Come on, Chuck E. Cheese.
He's a slow starter. That's okay. So the morning lines don't matter, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So in an allowance, ignore the morning lines. They don't matter.
Okay.
And let's see here. Because you see now, look who's in first right now. There's an A horse is in first right now.
Mhm.
That 6 pounds, he gets, so it says -6. What it actually means is the guy at the top of the leader, the guy who's the S, or he's having to have 6 pounds.
Mhm.
So that 6 pounds is super hard to overcome. Like,
Mhm.
if you're a horse that's an S in this race and you're having to carry 6 more pounds than my A is gonna beat you. Like, that's how it works.
That's interesting because mine keeps beating the A's and mine's an S minus, and I've been putting him in A to S.
Really, that's interesting. Maybe I need to have a look at maybe there's certain horses that can carry weight really well. Maybe Ian Cummings he's from Madden, man. He's from EA Sports. He spent like 20 years at EA.
Mm-hmm.
the algorithm under the hood of this game is amazing, and you got to imagine, like, he worked on Madden football. Like, the algorithm under Madden football must be like super complex.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think we're really, really lucky to have him as the head of this studio. Okay, so Chuck E.
Come on, Chuck
Cheese,
E. Cheese.
come on, make a move, buddy. Don't make me look bad.
I know, man.
We'll
What a great name too.
okay, he's gonna squeeze out third. He's gonna squeeze out third.
He better.
Yeah, you're
Oh,
right. He's gonna squeeze out
come
third. You're
on,
right. He didn't. It looks
Chuck
like
E.
an A plus and
Cheese.
an.
Woo.
It looks like an S and an S minus. No,
Yeah.
an A plus and an S minus
Uh huh.
did him in. It's interesting, but
Oh,
he does well. He does well in allowances usually.
there you go. Hey,
No,
you should name a horse blockbuster.
I'm sure it's already gone. I use ChatGPT to name all the horses now. So
Oh, do you really? Oh,
yeah,
shoot.
I built. Do you use ChatGPT?
No, I got a whole Russian theme for all my stuff, man. Everything's Comrade something or some Russian city or
Okay,
town.
yeah, okay. I have ChatGPT. I have a custom GPT. Where is it? Where funny horse names. And I give it I could give it the name of the mom, the dad, and if it's a colt or a filly, and then it'll give me names to pick from.
Oh,
It
damn.
works pretty good. I like my names the last couple seseasons. So but
Hey,
yeah,
man,
because
congrats on the win,
eventually
though, man. I like it. It was good.
uh, all right, I'm gonna sign out. It's
Oh,
Saturday
yeah.
morning. Gonna go
Oh,
do
yeah, of
something
course.
else.
Just to make sure, is there any other last information you want to put out for claimers just before we go?
No, no, it's
Okay.
I think it's definitely the place that everyone should be playing,
Mm-hmm.
especially new players, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's for everyone.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you're one of those, obviously, like, say, like GVG or whatever, like GVG Genetics or TED Racing,
Yeah.
they got so many horses every season that they're not going to bother with claimers, right? So probably none of these guys in the top 10 are ever looking at claimers. They'll put horses in claimers, but I'm sure they're
Yeah.
not trying to claim. But I got all day to kill, so I do it anyways. I'll try to look any. I haven't. So the guys that I see that are active in claimers, he might be in claimers once in a while.
You did say you use
Crush.
gap data for deep diving on the for some of these,
Yeah.
right?
So gap data. Oops,
Mm-hmm.
hang on. Gap. Sorry, where are we? Gap data. Power by. Yeah.
Oh,
So
power by.
say let me think of a horse. Okay, so yeah, here's a horse that I claimed. Sacred. This is from Tombstone. Sacred something. Sacred. Shit. What was it? Sacred Dancer? Maybe Sacred Dancer? Hang on, let me find the horse. Stable, horses, sacred. Sacred dance. Okay. So sacred dance. So when I looked at sacred dance, the first thing I looked at, sacred dance hasn't made me a lot of money, I don't think, since I picked him up. Let's have a quick look. Sacred dance. I picked him up. Charts. Oh, sorry, hang on. Claimer. So as soon as I claimed him, I
Mm-hmm.
claimed him here. Because he's good enough that I didn't want to put him in claimers again. I put him in allowances. I figured that I could make money.
Yeah.
So on October 22nd, I claimed him. So let's look up here to charts. So on October 22nd, so at 19,000 is where he was, and now he's at 23.4. So he's made me 4,000, but I claimed him for how much did I claim him for? 1.2. So this horse has made me
About three.
2.8.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's about that. But what I used Gap Data for is right away I put it in. It was Tombstone Stables, and and this is common for his horses. I went and looked, and the P&L minus, I've made like almost 3 off this, so it was around 14 or 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
So right off the bat, before I need to look any further, I can claim a horse for 1.2K, and his P&L was 14,000. So, and he was just barely into his 3rd year, right? So right away, I know that, okay, well, this is positive ROI. This is a good horse. It's made a bunch of money already. If I race him correctly, he should make my money, 1.2 back pretty quick, and then I can keep racing him until maybe he falls off. And so yeah, it's worked out. And I've actually even tried to, I picked him up on the 22nd, right? Or it says the 23rd here. And then I went in a bunch of allowance races. So you see, made me money, made me money, made me money, made me money. And then eventually I decided, okay, well, let's test a stakes race.
Oh, okay.
Lost me money, right?
Oh.
And then I was stubborn, so I was like, okay, let's test it one more time.
Uh,
And he got 3rd, but then I was okay. So then I was like, okay, I got my money back, and then I was like, okay, forget it. I'll just go back to allowances. Made me money, made me money, made me money. So, just gotta, yeah. So, I used this P&L column. Is what the very first thing I'll look at. If I say I only got 30 minutes to look at claimers, I see a horse, it kind of looks good, I'll just quickly come to Gapdata, I'll put in the name, and I'll just check out that. If it says negative 7,000, I'll just quickly move on, because the horse loses money. Why would I want it, right? So there was a few times where the person just raced the horse completely wrong. And then you can maybe look at it and go, okay, I think he raced it wrong. So I can take out a bunch of these races that were negative. And if you took those races out, this horse would be positive. And then maybe in those cases, I would maybe claim the horse, but it usually backfires on you. If a horse is negative, he's usually negative.
Oh.
So, yeah. But no, Gapdata is an awesome website. So gapdata.racing/powerbuy. Yeah, I use it all the time. Helps you figure out the preferred distance. Helps you see that how much they make at each distance. It's click off of that.
I need to start using this more often. I haven't been using it at all.
I didn't use it for quite a few years, and then quite a few seasons, and then as soon as I started using it, it was always using it. Yeah, for sure. It's a quick way to, and also like Mick Frosty. This is my best horse ever. I raced him wrong for his for his juvenile year. I thought he was best at 8, and then over time I started putting him in 9s and 10s. But you need a good sample size, and then eventually I figured out he's actually was a 10. Like 10 was his best distance. It's not 11, maybe even 11. 11 is, but 11 had very few, very few sample size, but definitely 8 was not his best. And and actually, no, I didn't find. I found this out halfway through. Actually, at the end of his year 3, I finally figured this out. So this whole time, he should have raced in the Artemis Cup, and I raced him in the Gallop. And so, yeah. So
did he at least win?
No, this is. No, he in the Gallop, I think he got 4th, but he did win this race. When he was, can we see that race? When he was age 4, I finally figured out that, it took me a long time. So he won this one, which is like one of the undercards, which was a good one. It was a 9, and it was worth 48. So But it was one of the undercards. I think it's an Artemis. So it's each of the big races also has undercard races, and so when he was 4, he took this one down. So that was cool. But no, he. I was racing, and his stats would have been even better because for the longest time, he almost had a perfect record for a long time, and for a long time, he never ever did worse than 5.
Mm-hmm.
And then, um, yeah, then I started experimenting a bit more, trying to figure out his distance better. And it looks. So I wouldn't use this 100% to pick out preferred distance because I don't think it's 100% accurate. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so it looked like 8 was his best. I honestly think 9. I think 9 was truly his best. I think is 9, but 10 was also really good. I think these two were actually better than the 8, but it's hard to tell.
Yeah.
Hard to tell. But yeah, when you see a horse that when they race 12 and they
Mm-hmm.
have a big green circle there, that's really good. So when he raced a full race of
Oh.
12, yeah, that's that tells you like okay, when he races against um a big field. So lots of times you'll see horses with good records, but all
Mm-hmm.
their wins come in against 4 horses, right?
Yeah.
And so that what does that tell you? That tells you fuck all, right? It just tells you that owner has either selectively picked races that only have 4 horses in them. Nowadays it's a little different, right?
Mm-hmm.
But back in the day, people would actually they would pad their stats. They would find a race that had because you used to get a lot of crown, right? So people used to crown farm,
Yeah.
and they would also pad their stats for their best horses. What they would do, they would go find a race that only had say one horse registered, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the registration was about to close, and then they would throw 3 of their horses in it, or maybe they're really good horse and then 2 duds,
Mm-hmm.
and so the really good horse would always win, right? And so on paper, so you need to look at that when you're looking at a horse. You want to make sure that the majority of their wins come against bigger fields, right? He
Mm-hmm.
won against 18, he won against 14, he won the majority of his races against 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. He never raced against, barely raced against, 4 horses. So yeah, that's definitely, I think this is probably the most important chart to look at. This and fleet figures.
Mm-hmm.
This definitely tells you how good your horse is. Because if your horse can't beat big fields, then it's not a good horse, right? And I think fleet figures is also probably your best thing to look at.
Yeah,
Yep, yep.
I'm gonna
All
just
right.
start having a look at that. But okay. So yeah. Is there anything else just before I close it out?
That's it. That's
Okay.
it. I think we're good.
All right. Cool. Cool.
I think we're good.
Okay. So
Uh,
that concludes our session, man. And thank you so much, Kelly, for stopping by, and have a good weekend, man.
all right.
I'll hit you up on Twitter to see if we could schedule another one on like the betting. Maybe see if we could dabble down that a little bit if you're okay with that.
Yeah, sure, for sure.
All right, man.
Maybe we could do it again, maybe next weekend or the weekend after. So actually, next weekend might be a good weekend to do it because you're gonna have all the big races probably. So,
Okay. Yeah.
anyways, yep,
All right,
we
man.
can
Have
do
a
it
good
again.
weekend. All
All
right.
right, take
Bye.
care.